at that. We're on the air. On the YouTube.
Oh no, it's live.
Double live.
This is really happening.
2 times. Dose.
Dose?
Dose live.
Deuces.
Deuce. Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Well, I mean, it's your chat.
Oh,
So
what am I doing here?
We can kind of talk about whatever you want.
Come on down to 555 Granville Street, Vancouver.
Come on, motherfuckers. Come on.
All right, let's set the stage. So I'm drinking a non-alcoholic beer here. Yep. Do.
Thomas the Tank Engine slaps way harder than
true.
it should. It should be allowed to.
Thomas the Dank Engine.
So dank. What is up, Tom and Guyver Lord?
Oh, Tom.
Yeah.
Tom O.M. I think I know that person.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, that's the better half.
I don't think she follows me on Instagram.
Out right there, huh?
What is up, Flamingo? I miss you, dude. Okay, so start the recording.
Welcome to Photography Chat
With Merlin.
Photography Chat
With Merlin. Yeah, I need to work out. I look fat in this shirt.
Dude, just own it, man. I think after COVID, a lot of people are like, this body image is totally different now, man.
I'm at like a crossroads in my life where I can either like choose to like make positive change or just embrace my like desire to be Jack Black.
I mean, you can kind of do both, can't you? It doesn't have to be the same way. There's a lot of time left. I hope
there is.
I hope
but
you know.
I mean, if I'm going to embrace the Jack Black thing, I think I need to practice like tearing open shirts. So I could be like, you remember back then when I ripped open my blouse?
Have you seen him skating with Tony Hawk?
Yeah, he's really
like you look at him thinking he's not gonna have any balance or anything, but he rolled around.
Yeah.
Did a lot better than I could.
Oh, dude, I can roll around embarrassingly.
I can't even roll around. It's awful. First sign of gravel, I'm on my knees. It's awful. just falling over. I watched the Spike Jonze thing the other day on Vice, not to like completely sidetrack this conversation, but he was saying that like he gets a feeling when he's skating that he feels like he's in the zone. And that zone feeling is maybe what he's looking for when he's shooting. And then a lot of times he shoots on his skateboard, which I also like. He uses like a dolly, basically.
That's pretty cool.
Do you get that feel like you're in the zone when you're shooting and when you're on your skateboard?
I don't really. My skateboard spends more time in the closet in the studio than it does on my feet.
Enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What about the camera? Does it make you feel like you're in the zone?
Sometimes. I mean,
The danger zone?
danger zone. Lana. Holy shit. Yeah, that's right, Steven. I've seen your
36.
transformation, dude. That has been wicked wild because the last time I saw you, you were an absolutely different person. Like 455 to 225. Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, it's a hell of a change.
That's like a whole me.
I'm just saying, listen, life is long. You can be Jack Black for a bit as well as make changes.
I fucking love donuts though.
I mean, listen. do you ever try to like reward yourself for something? Like, hey, I'll do 5 shoots this week and that'll give me a box of donuts, or does that just not work on you? So it totally works on me.
Oh, I reward myself. It's like, yo, you woke up today. Eat all the things.
You get 2 new lenses just for getting out of bed. Who knew?
Exactly. Yeah.
We get some lyrical callback series, Half the Man He Used to Be. I like it. Great song.
That reminds me of fucking Michael Keaton in The Other Guys when he keeps doing the like salt and pepper fucking things, and they're like, "Come on!" He's like,
salt and pepper.
He's like, "Yo, don't go chasing waterfalls."
Nice.
And they're like, "What? That's
Destiny's
TLC."
Child. Yeah, okay, TLC.
He's like, "I don't need no scrub," and they're like, "Dude, come on."
I love it.
You've never seen The Other Guys?
I have not. No, there's a lot of movies I haven't seen. I feel like I'm saving a lot of them as well. As I start, like I watched Idiocracy last year and it blew my mind.
Yeah, because you're like, holy shit, when did they film this? Like yesterday?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Still fairly relevant, unfortunately.
I remember seeing an interview that Mike Judge did where he's like, I didn't realize when I made Idiocracy, I was making a documentary on the future.
That's kind of rough.
It is kind of rough. You want to take a moment to introduce everyone yourself to everyone?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can keep it pretty sweet. So my name's Ryan. I've got a fake Instagram account like all the kids these days. And I guess I know Merlin for a long time, but like my most memorable moment is probably at his wedding, where I tried to like make a speech, but then just broke down in tears.
You did make a noise. It was you kind of made like a squeak. You're like,
I said some stuff. I
No.
think I said I got as far as saying he's so nice he give you the shirt off his back, and I think I just bawled from then on in. And
you did, and then
just walked off stage.
the legendary Jeremy Baker. Is he still with the? I can't remember if he's with the Fox or what now, but we're friends on Instagram or Facebook. I don't know, internet friends.
Mm-hmm.
He was our DJ.
Oh, right on.
And he came. He's like, "Yo, man, that dude loves the shit out of you." He was like, "I've been to a lot of weddings, but like that was something else." Yeah.
Yeah, and I should know more. Like I've shot a lot of weddings as a photographer, and I should know like how things roll. But I think it's different when you're in something, as opposed to just like spectating. There's a lot of like the on paper knowledge versus the practical.
I mean, there's a lot to spectate at that wedding.
Well, there's a lot of spectating at most weddings. I got to be honest. You're
That's
okay. Yeah, the bridezillas, the groomzillas. There's a lot going on at weddings.
Yeah.
It's hard. I feel that for your DJ friend. He must have seen some stuff.
Dude, I was so hungover. That was a rough day.
Yeah. I've had a wedding. They're a thing. I've been married for over 20 years at this point.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You could have had like a kid going to college by now.
Coulda. I don't know if I shoulda.
That's fair.
So weird. Speaking of idiocracy, it's a weird world to be bringing kids into. Not that like I'm not judging anybody. You do you, but there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of stress involved. I've got a pretty big family, and we're starting to like people in my family are starting to have kids, and there's a lot happening.
Yeah,
It kind of worries
it's
me.
interesting. Yeah, how so?
Okay, so I grew up pretty country.
Yeah.
We can go there for a bit.
A little bit country.
And I feel like raising a child, sort of like where I grew up, feels different now that I know what's actually going on. Like when you drive around, you see the camo mesh back caps and the gun racks and there's a lot of F-150s, F-350s, the big cars, the rolling coal kind of stuff where I grew up. I don't know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that on Tinder.
That's what you're looking for?
I'm not even joking.
Must have a truck
Like,
this heavy to ride.
There's a lot of that, and I've seen now a few "Don't Tread on Me" flags,
Oh, right.
which I was like, oh yeah,
step
in
on snake.
Canada? Okay, cool. That's that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a very divisive world.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I wish my photography did anything like bring this to the forefront, but I'm a chicken. I kind of shoot like more commercial and stuff like that, very pedestrian, pedantic. I don't know, not really trying to say much. I feel like a lot of what I shoot is practice. I don't know about you. Like I feel like I'm always practicing to get to something. Maybe they'll have a really good idea and I'll be ready. I'll have the right gear.
Or so you could grow up to be like that guy we were talking about that like brings all of his gear regardless of the situation to
I mean I kind of laugh at that, but that was me for a while. I used to bring every lens, every camera.
Yeah, but then you grew up.
Yeah.
I
think there's a certain amount of experience involved in like knowing what to bring to like a wedding or what have you, or some other gig if you're doing commercial stuff. It's just different.
Well, if you listen to Ken Rockwell and you shoot Nikon, you can use the 28 to 105, 3.5 to 4.5D
Ken
macro.
Rockwell. Is he the guy with like the university professor layout to his site where it looks like it was made in like year 2000?
Or like the late 90s.
Late 90s.
Yeah. It's wholly like dude with camera kind of shit.
Yeah.
Super
He's
vibe.
definitely got that feel to it. I think a lot of digital photos, so we were talking about this the other day, kind of have like that oversaturated, over-sharpened vibe that like, I don't know. That's what I think of when I think of Ken. He's trying to tell you what lens is his sharpest. And I don't know if that's really important to me.
I don't like sharpness.
Yeah, I kind of don't either.
Yeah, I'm sharp enough already. I don't
exactly. Super sharp. But I'm putting cellophane in front of like a lot of my photos these days, or like crystals.
What about tinfoil?
Oh, I've definitely put tinfoil on lights in this very studio. Not like that really cool tinfoil that you get from Adorama or B&H, but like, you know.
Oh, we just got
like
schooled
actual
by
tinfoil.
Abel. He said Ken Rockwell is the original film photography
Oh, man.
influencer. Show some respect.
Oh, fair enough. He has been around for a while, and I feel like saying late 90s isn't. Like
Yeah,
he's
but I
been
mean,
since the
like,
late
you know,
90s.
dinosaurs went extinct for a reason.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Is he a dinosaur? I don't know. I don't know what relevancy means these days when it comes to photography.
I didn't spend like
What's old is new again, right? So maybe Ken Rockwell is relevant.
maybe
possible.
he's like the Rick to the photography world.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like people talk about that.
Hey Ryan, if you want to take good photos,
Hey,
you
kid.
just need to use this lens, Ryan. Oh my God, this lens is gonna blow your fucking mind. It's so sharp. Oh man. Oh jeez.
I'm trying to think. What was it you recommended? Was it the 24 to 105?
The 28 to 105, 3.5 to 4.5D macro.
This is like some Lindsay Adler shit. I feel like she'd be the new age person who holds the same opinion on the Canon side.
Well, he dubbed it like Canon or Nikon's Ninja lens. He was like, this
Ninja
is
lens.
the one lens that you can shoot a whole wedding with, because it's got it's like wide enough with the with the 28 mil, and then you can like get in real tight with the 105,
Right.
and then do the macro on it. No bullshit, blows my fucking mind.
All right.
Like you can see like your fingerprints and shit like with the macro.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool. I use that lens like religiously in Toronto for a while until people started giving me weird looks because I started using an f5 more, and that lens fully out on the f5.
It's a big doinker.
It's a huge doinker, and people are like, "What's up with this brown bearded guy pointing this like large weapon-looking thing at people's faces?"
Surveillance.
Yeah, so that's why I use a 50 mil now.
You're
just
getting that intel. Yeah.
I keep it stubby, just like real life. So
You're in there taking like scenic shots of the targets
yeah,
in Toronto.
Target.
Targets.
Bella's like, Ken Rockwell in the chat.
Oh man, that would be amazing.
I'm going to talk to him like this the whole time. Hi, Ken. It's really nice to meet you, and I want to talk about your.
Yeah, he's an interesting cat.
I'm sure he would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was definitely around when like film went to digital. I recall that.
Yes,
for sure.
He did that he handled that transition well. I remember reading his website in the 2000s when I was considering buying a Nikon D70.
I'm pretty sure I loaded up in Japan in like 1997 when I was looking for a camera and found a used F90X, like the N90, because of his thing. Because like when you Google or search stuff, like his site comes up pretty quickly.
Would you say then Ken Rockwell was like the Casey Neistat of our generation?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah,
Of our photographic generation, yeah.
Maybe. Actually, no. I think Spike Jonze would have been the Casey Neistat of our generation.
That Spike Jonze thing, man, did number on me.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
He's a cool guy.
I knew those Transworld skateboarding shots when they're like multiple exposures with flash. I knew those because when you see them, you'll remember. Like who's
when you saw him, you're like, wow.
Wow, pretty much. Like I want to shoot this when I grow up. I can't even skateboard.
I can't either. So it's funny. The place where we actually met, Simply Compute, we started working together at Simply Computing, and what was that, like 2007, something like that?
Sounds about right. The MacBook Intel had just released, which I think was 2006.
Yeah, and
So
I was like
right around then.
super chapped because like they gave you the fucking black MacBook, and like you were all cocky and like fucking king of town with it, and I got like the low end white one, and I had to like fight Wilson for some fucking RAM upgrades in it.
Oh, Wilson, yeah. I remember the main thing I used that laptop for was like
Pornography.
No, it's like straight up. I think it was called Stumble. Like iStumble was the app that I used, and I was always looking for Wi-Fi so I could put in my like service orders after I was done service all the time. So I was like, I don't want to say it's like cracking Wi-Fi because they were open. So all I was doing is like finding open Wi-Fi for me, and then like maybe rolling some keys or something like that, just so I could get in and get my work done because I had it open on my passenger side of the car, driving and like flipping through iTunes. Like we're not talking about BlackBerry in the hand texting here. We're talking about like a full laptop.
Yeah, that wasn't. We were on call and we didn't have Blackberries yet. Like the fucking phone they gave me was one of those like Sony Ericsson butt plug phones.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Fucking hated that thing. It was
Did
so
it
bad.
fit? Yeah.
Nah, it was uncomfortable. I mean, It was a little too girthy.
I feel like a lot of people were trying to clone Nokia back then, so the sort of brick phone was a big deal.
Dude, I had a Nokia 918. That was one of my favorite phones.
Yeah, you could drop them off roofs and they'd be fine.
Yeah, I did this sketchy job just out of high school. I was working for this company in Cranbrook called MyTech. They still exist. So, like, you know, I hope the statute of limitations on, like, you know, worker abuse things is, like, passed since then, because it's been, like, a good, I don't know, fucking over 20, like, almost 30 years since this happened.
I mean, for the chat, I'm not a lawyer, so don't.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, so
Exactly.
yeah, I was supposed to like be doing like learning how to do photocopy repair.
Right.
That was what high school Merlin was super excited about, was becoming a Toshiba photocopy repair technician.
All right.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
technical.
this was just when everything was still analog for the most part. We were just starting to get digital photocopiers,
Right.
and the old school, they fucking hated them.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, these are bullshit." You know, you gotta go with the analog. They work super fucking good, and we would take trade-ins all the time. Like I got this like Canon photocopier that nothing was wrong with it. It just needed a cleaning, but they were gonna throw it out, so I gave it to my dad, and he fucking used that thing for like 20 years.
Nice.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden it went from I'm working as a photocopy repair apprentice to they're like, oh, we got this big contract to do all of the telecommunications cabling in the new Cranbrook hockey rink /
So you're gonna
aquatic
get
center.
paid to lay cable instead. Just do it at home. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get much when I was a kid, so
Fair enough.
yeah, not much has changed.
Fair enough.
But they were like, yeah, let's take this like fucking 18-year-old kid
Right.
and make him do dangerous, sketchy shit that he doesn't know any better about, and then we'll just plead ignorance and tell him that whatever. If he gets hurt, cool, whatever. If not, then awesome. And then as soon as the job was done, they fired me.
I
Like that was like literally, but I just remember I was like fucking climbing over the pipes of the ammonia system.
Mhm.
Because I didn't know
That
that
seems
it was
legit.
dangerous.
Yep.
I was just supposed to run all these like telephone and networking cables, and some guy's like, "Oh, the fuck are you doing? That's so dangerous!" And I'm like, "They told me to climb this ladder and like do this thing." And he's like, "You could die," and I'm like, "Well, now I don't want to do this." But I was up like probably 30 feet on one of these gangways, like climbing up a ladder to get there, and my fucking Nokia, I bumped it on my belt because I used a belt holster
Right.
back then.
Everybody did.
Well, I mean,
No-
you
no
can't put it
judgment.
in your pocket. It's not as smooth. Like even my two iPhones put together isn't as thick as the Nokia was. Yeah, it felt, and I was so upset. I thought it was going to be broken.
Oh
It
man.
was totally fine. Nothing wrong with it.
Did the back battery thing come off? Because that's
No, not even that.
Wow.
It was
you
totally
go.
fine.
That's a keeper.
What I do miss though, you remember the old school Blackberries that had that plastic
Yes.
holster with them?
Yeah.
And how you could like
Yeah.
you could put it
could
in your
rotate.
pocket
Yeah.
on the inside, so just the clip hang up. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I miss the old Blackberries.
Something
go
to be said
back to
about
that.
holsters. I'm not all about like open carry or anything like that, but I do like holsters.
You know what I don't like though is those like dad like leather holsters with the fold over thing, or like the flappy
Oh, yeah,
holsters. Yeah, flappy holsters are a hard no.
What's
for
your
me.
take on those like phone wallets that people use?
Phone wallets. Oh, the phone wallets.
Yeah.
That's triggering for me. I don't really want
Little
to talk
bit.
about that. That is super triggering. Let's not talk about. Let's not talk about that.
I'm sorry. I used to be like no phone case person for the longest time, and then I think I was at Lake Louise taking a photo with my nice camera, nice lens. And I was like, oh, I gotta take one for the grams, and of
Yeah.
course, luckily instead of dropping the DSLR, I dropped the phone, but it smashed,
Mm.
it cracked all over the place. So if you're ever at Lake Louise and it looks really nice, yeah, don't drop your phone. It's cold.
Yeah, you need protection.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
Kids in the chat again. Use
In
protection.
not just on your phones, but just like
Just in
everywhere.
general.
Yeah,
Please.
just yeah. It's important. It's cheap. It can save you from really expensive mistakes later in life. And yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
I fucking love you. Thank you so much. Fuck those phone wallets indeed. Yes. You're the best. Yeah. It was funny though when we started working together. I didn't realize you were into photography.
I don't like talking about it.
You're kind of you're a secret guy.
Maybe. I think the main thing is like sometimes there's stuff that you like.
Yeah.
That maybe I don't know. This is maybe I don't know what kind of strategy this is, but I feel like when I talk to people about it, it kind of takes a joy out of it. You know, there's a bit of that gear talk. The same person we were talking about was talking about gear the other day, and sometimes I just feel like it just goes down this path of like getting the next new thing and all that stuff, where at the end of the day, what I really want to do is create. I do love the gear. I mean, obviously, love the gear. But what I really want to do is create images.
I mean, we all love the gear, but like we all don't want to sit and jerk off about it. Like that dude was like fucking killing me. Like I was just
I gotta love him. Like it's the same as like the Jack Black thing. Like maybe at some point in time, this person will change and they'll move on to something else. But they're just different like inflection points, I guess, in your photographic career.
I don't think he'll ever
just
change.
kind of mired in the morass of the early stages.
Did you see those fucking slippers?
He's probably watching this right now. I love the slippers. Love the idea of bringing them with you. But man,
No, I don't think he's watching. I'm not cool enough.
It's the scuffing the slippers around the floor while you walk around someone's house. That's not yours.
eating all of their food.
Eating all the snacks. It's just a certain look. And like
and then really demanding more food after you eat all of the food, being like, "Yo, when are you making more food?"
Yeah.
Because like I came in your house and I'm a guest and there's no more food because I ate it. So you know,
there's something to be said about like a portrait photographer needs to get along with people, right?
I mean, he got along well with you.
I just like stroking people's egos.
I mean, he
kind
likes
of find it
stroking
fun.
a lot of things.
It's true. I kind of find, getting people worked up a little bit is sort of fun.
I've never noticed that about you in all the time we've been
I like pushing buttons. It's just like, ooh, let's wind this person up and see what happens.
Yeah, it's true. But how did you get started with photography and shit? I know you sent me a bio thing, but I didn't read it. I kind of read it.
That's fair. It's all lies. I think the main thing for me would be like my mom's influence and a lot of my quote unquote artwork. But she was a
artwork.
Yeah, artwork. She was a videographer at a local cable station and was able to like loan out ENG cameras. You know those really big ones that go on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Early on. And I think they were Sony, maybe Betacam back in the day, because this would have been like 1985, 84.
Yeah, I think those were Betacam. Yeah, that was like the shit where it's like, like in Groundhog Day, the one that Chris Elliott had to use.
Yeah, you got it. So like 5-year-old me could handle it, which is why I think it was a Betacam, because the big ones were really big.
That makes sense why you're size queen.
Yeah, indeed. I do like big cameras. Like, I really, really do. Not like Deerdorf size, but like quite large for sure. Like the Vista you've got is like,
Yeah, but you like big handheld things. I like big stationary things.
Oh, yeah. Like the Bronica for me is kind of the pinnacle of design. And I think if I was a Hasselblad person, I'd like that too. But like, honestly, videography is the first way I
don't think they would make a Hasselblad big enough for you to be satisfied with.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
It'd be like too dainty. You're like, what the fuck is this?
I do have really small hands.
Swedish bastards.
Yeah. Yeah, get off it. So I think that was kind of the first thing. My dad shot some Polaroids as well when I was younger. He gave me a hand-me-down Pentax, just what I started shooting with really, really early on.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was nice. I think a lot of people would say like their dad camera is kind of their favorite camera, and that certainly rings true for me. It's like the camera that he used is the one that's possibly my favorite of all time. And it's dinky. It's really small. Pentax used to make very small 35mm cameras. But
yeah, my dad wasn't the photographer when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It was my mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I still have her camera. Still works rad. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you feel like you're... So for me, at least, the stuff my dad took was like mostly landscapes, I'd say. Not to give him any disservice here. I'm sure he'd correct me if he could. But my mom was more about people, so she wanted people in every shot. I kind of like both of those sides of that kind of coin. But yeah, it's interesting.
I don't think my dad used the camera very much. It was mostly my mom, and she's Filipino, so people pictures are always a big thing, especially when people are eating. I don't know what it is why Filipinos love this shit.
Like Martin Parr, kind of. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Martin Parr's the English photographer. He likes to take photos of people eating hot dogs and stuff for some reason.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're shoving shit in your face right now. Let's get a pic. Everyone, family picture time, and it's like
they're all eating.
Yeah, and it's like, what? Or you're at a restaurant, and she'll be like, "Hey, waitress, come, yeah, take a picture of us eating." And it's like, fuck, why? Let's just
Get spaghetti in your face and stuff.
yeah. You got like the messy table with all of the foods there, and it's like, why can't we just like get like a nice like shot afterwards when we're
Do you
all
ever look back at
bloated?
these photos and like remember those meals?
And,
Sounds like proto food photography. Like this Instagram would be awesome. I'd watch it.
the old '80s ones were more interesting. Like there was one with her mom and dad, my Lola, and we were at some fried chicken joint in Calgary, and that was kind of a cool shot because we're all wearing like '80s style shit. Like I had some sort of like ugly Christmas style sweater on, and my grandpa was all pimped out. The film ones I like, but then it's just like when it started getting more into like because she was really into APS for a while, like that little like fucking Advantix shit.
Yep.
When it got into those, it just started to get obtrusive, like because
like the camera is smaller, so she get more in your face.
yeah, well, and just like in more of them because it was easier. Like all the film photos when I was a kid, all the ones I like were she had to put more time into them because she was using an AE1 for that. So it was manual focus, and she had to like think about like the exposure and everything, and so like she had to put some work in. So they were like a little more artistic. And then when the easier cameras came about, it just became more like you're eating. Let me let's get in there and like let's get this and let's get that, and like I don't know. And then when I don't know, I just like grew to hate the family. Like
I also
when I bought
you need to laugh, man. I'm the same.
when I got my D70, anytime I'd come home like from Vancouver to Kamloops, it'd be like, okay, family picture time, and I'm like, no. It's like everyone get dressed for family pictures. I'm like, no.
Did you have to have matching outfits? This is what killed me.
Not matching outfits,
okay.
but like we have to like throw like shirt and tie on like a suit jacket and shit. And there's like a series of years where I just look like I want to murder someone, and then there's the rest of my family.
Do you look back at this and like hate yourself as being a little shit, or are you still like proud that you look like a little shit?
I'm not proud of it, but it does make me laugh a little bit because I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And it's like I can see the disdain from back then. And my dad was like, "You're such a happy child," and I'm like, "When?"
There's a lot of like putting on faces too when you're younger. I mean, as you're older as well, but putting on airs, doing the right thing.
Well, yeah, and now like as an adult who's going through a lot of shit, it's really interesting to find out that a lot of that was maybe like masking because of what do the kids call it these days that they're all like the neurodivergent stuff.
ND, yeah.
Yeah. So we weren't really big on titles and shit when we were kids. It was just like, oh, you're disruptive.
I got diagnosed pretty early on. I think I was 10 when they diagnosed me with ADHD at the time. I don't know what it's called these days, ADD or ADHD. One of the two. But yeah, I got diagnosed pretty early, which is good. Good for me. But the pills they give you are... I think dialing in the medications as you're a teenager growing is like a bit of a fool's errand.
Oh, fuck. I think 10-Foot Pole always did a song that I liked about that stuff called ADD, where like the chorus line's like, "Please let me take them. I don't want to be an idiot. Mommy takes my Ritalin. It's not enough for me," she says.
Classic track.
Ritalin
and heart palpitations. Yeah, that was my childhood.
Yeah, I accidentally took too many of my Ritalin pills one day and then like drank a bunch, and that was not a good idea. Yeah.
Not something you want to drink on, unfortunately. Yeah.
Not unless you want to rush.
I'm drinking this non-alcoholic beer. I would suggest it. I don't know if you want a sip or anything. It tastes like IPA. It tastes like a Stanley Park Brewing beer. Have a sip.
No, I'm okay.
He's like, nah.
No, I'm good.
I'm good. No non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't look back at them and be like, oh, you're a little fucking asshole or whatever. But it was, I don't know. You're like when you're younger, you're kind of weird. And
Absolutely.
I do wish though that I took more pictures with my friends.
Right. That's how I get
'Cause-
started actually taking photos, was with friends. Yeah.
Yeah, because like Maureen, the woman that I had on last week, that's something that I'm a bit envious of her work. Is she's so young and she's already built this fantastic body of work around the people that are important to her and all of that. And I wish I had photos from like around that age, because I still remember a bunch of stuff, but like, you know, as we get older, you know, that memory starts to fade more and more. And like, I wish I had like something more concrete. Like there's odd pictures that other people will share and I'll be like, fuck, like I can kind of remember that moment. And like, I wish I had a camera and that's like even a fucking disposable, but like I was too busy being a drunken arsehole. So
As a kid?
Yeah.
Luckily, I stayed off the sauce until after high school, I think. I mean, I had a drink here and there, but...
No, I started my relationship with the sauce in high school.
Ah.
Yeah. And then it just kind of...
Do you know that song? Your slow descent into alcoholism? Great,
it was,
great local band.
It was
Wasn't
not
slow.
very slow at all. No. Yeah, I mean, like, growing up in a small hick town in the mountains of British Columbia.
Right.
I mean, there's not a lot to do other than, like...
Take photos.
Drink or do drugs. Like... And that was kind of the irony of my parents' plan. They moved us to a small town because they thought we would get in less trouble growing up in a small town. But I think the joke was on them because with a lack of activities to do outside of just like, you know, general degeneratism with your pals, you just end up doing general degeneratism with your pals. I think if we had stayed in Calgary, there would have been more interesting things to occupy my time and like even my brother's time. But, you know, that being said, no regrets on any of that because I wouldn't be the person I am now if it wasn't for the good or the bad things. So, yeah, Kimberly was an interesting place to grow up.
I like it.
Yeah. How about you? What was your childhood like?
It's a resounding recommendation. I mean, I grew up in the 80s, so there was a bunch of that. But I think in terms of photography and taking photos and stuff, I was like the family reunion videographer for a long time. I guess that's kind of where I was going with that story. And that's how like I learned to take photos of people and videos of people, where like a lot of it was like my strong aunts, my grandmother, like a lot of strong female characters in my family. I come from a very big family, but a lot of like what I took photos of, which is like my drunk uncles or...
Did you call them drunkles?
I didn't. I mean, I wasn't that clever when I was younger.
Did your drunk uncles kind of like... I've noticed some people when they get ready to do that kind of like purse lip kind of face when they're like talking to you and they're like in between they're like yeah Ryan.
I don't think they're that old. I think you hit a certain age where like you do stuff with your lip. I don't know if it's like leftovers from what you just ate or whatever, but like yeah.
No, it's not. It's like it's not even a leftovers thing. It's just they're
Just
kind
like
of
a thing.
yeah.
This with the kissy lips.
Something
Yeah.
like that. So you would videograph your drunkles
Yes. In my family, I am
or your
famous for the-
dranties.
My dranties. The Skytree video, I think, was possibly my claim to fame as a youngster.
Skytree video.
This is what happens when you early on you realize that the red button will record, but it will also stop the recording. What I realize is that sometimes you may stop the recording when you mean to record and record what you're not supposed to. So yes, the Skytree video was a big hit, and it was just me walking with the camera pointed at the sky as I walked to our lake to go fishing. It was a big hit.
Because you had thought you recorded something important, and
Yes.
then you're like, I'm gonna go for a walk.
It was like me singing to myself while recording sky and trees. Yes, and I thought they genuinely liked it, and years later realized that no, they were laughing at me, not with.
And you're like, don't laugh at my art.
Oh man, it was intentionally awesome. Yeah, no, that intent I think is maybe what was missing here.
I am kind of weird all of the time too, so you're not alone there.
Yeah.
Rosie.
Yeah, embrace the weird for sure.
I love weird. I like really grounded people make me uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you even what?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, what? How bad is your secret?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm like, we all got something. So if it's not apparent right now, what does it take for it to come out?
Have you taken photos of people like that and you get like you catch a micro expression?
Yeah, that's why they creep me out.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, you're really sad inside. And I mean this kind of generally, but shooting weddings and stuff like that, you'll get like many sides of a person as you're rapid firing. I don't know, like 8 frames a second. It's like, whoa, you are not happy on this day.
Are weddings supposed to be happy though, or is that just what we were told?
I think it depends on like there's a lot of rules at a wedding, right? There's the bride and the groom, and then there's you know, the family, the people who may be financing the whole operation. You've got the people working there. You've got the bridesmaids, the groomsmen. There's a lot of emotion happening at a wedding. It's very fun.
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, well, sorry. As a photographer at
Oh,
a wedding,
yeah.
or as like a second shooter, yeah, there's a lot of people watching that's like in an intimate space, but it's interesting. Can't publish these photos later. Like they're generally like, this is not something you can use in your portfolio. But man, people watching, like imagine street shooting at a wedding. That's what I'm getting at. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. People are really strange. Yeah.
But it's fun to take photos. Like one of them, we went to White Rock, and prior to the wedding, the groomsmen all wanted to strip down to their tighty whities and jump off the pier. So I shot that because that was B camera, so you get to shoot generally with the groom, and that's what we did. We went down to White Rock Pier, and I took photos of them in their tighty whities jumping into the water.
Nice.
That was a day. It pays pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, you can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, in general, like for photography, I don't get paid a lot, if ever. So it's kind of fun to break up the.
I don't really like doing it for money.
Yeah, same here.
Because I get worried that it's gonna like ruin it for me.
Absolutely, yeah. I totally agree with you. Yeah, once it becomes a job, it's different.
Yeah, I already have a job.
Right.
I don't need another one. Like,
right.
You know.
And it's weird. I shot with someone you know recently, and they said like, oh, can I tell my friends to hit you up for headshots and stuff like that? And I was like, absolutely not. And she was taken aback, like, oh, you said that really quickly, like you were ready for this. And I was like, yes, I do not. Please don't send me like no, don't like, don't subscribe, don't follow on Insta,
don't smash that like button.
Please don't click
on that bell.
Yeah, go like Merlin. He's got much better shit.
Yeah, but please. No, same difference. Like don't.
I often I don't know if you'll see this, but I often send people Alex Waver's way just because like I know, you know, he likes to shoot for cash. Let's see if he's in the chat. But like, yeah,
What's up, you hippie crackpot?
Hippies. Wow.
It's Cohen.
Oh.
I think he finally got his fucking passport.
Woo.
Yeah. So next Policon.
Terracana?
Terra Candinesis.
All right.
How the hell do you say your name?
Yeah, he's gonna have to spell it out here. Phonetics.
I mean, he likes making these really odd, made up words.
Like hippies? Yeah. What does that mean? I haven't heard that word in a while.
I heard that word recently because I was listening to the Guttermouth song. Yeah. They talk about hippies.
Yeah.
Wash your feet.
Punks do like talking about hippies.
He finally got his fucking passport. Yeah.
There we go. It's on.
Now he can come to... It's pretentious. Of course, it's pretentious Latin. You're such a cunt.
This is a person we're roping into going to New York Policon, if I recall correctly, and couldn't go to Texas because he didn't have.
I don't know if I'm going to go to the New York.
Do I have the lure right? I'll go. I gotta go. This Brooklyn camera place sounds great.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 I mean, a lot of people like him.
Exactly.
I like.
A lot of people can't be wrong.
Sure. I mean, we were talking about Kanye earlier.
And Idiocracy. Yeah. Yeah, let's make this a Kanye-free podcast episode.
Yeah, he comes up a lot lately.
Absolutely. Kanye, Elon, and the other guy.
I am so fucking tired of Elon. Yeah. Like, I had to listen to some dude, like, fucking... wax lyrical about how he can't wait until Elon makes a cell phone so that he could ditch his iPhone because
Right.
like fuck iPhone. And I'm like, what, you want a shitty Android phone that's going to explode in your pocket? And he's like, what do you mean? No, he's going to make his own tech. I'm like, no, he's not. He's going to get some shitty Android phone and put some dumb fucking white like wallpapers on that shit and get someone from fucking Tesla to make like a fucking phone case with the worst panel gaps you've ever fucking seen and then like charge you $5,000 for that fucking garbage.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like how you could ruin turning it on and off. Like, if you ruin the car door, how could you ruin a cell phone? There's got to be some way. Like, you
It's
gotta
like
wave
a
at it to turn it on.
proximity turn on,
Yeah,
but it doesn't work all the time.
Exactly.
Or you need like a key fob to like
Like a
fucking
worse
turn your
wake
phone
word
on.
than Alexa. Yeah.
Yeah, or you need to like say something anti-Semitic or it's like it has like a passphrase to turn on, but it's like, you know, your worst nightmare to put it on, and Elon will be like, this is because I'm testing your fortitude as a human being.
Right. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
gonna start a Twitter poll about this. Yes.
Elon won't. Well, if he tries to bring back BlackBerry, all he'll do is ruin it like Twitter.
I think what's interesting here is that BlackBerry actually has returned already,
Yeah.
and maybe the person in the chat's not aware of it, and it is based on an Android phone.
It is. Well, I mean, BlackBerry didn't really go away. They've
Right.
just kind of been licking their wounds, and
Yeah.
then they, yeah, Elon. It's a phone, but it doesn't make calls.
Yeah.
It works when it needs to.
That sounds alright.
Like, why
Yeah.
do you have to ask a lot of it?
It's fueled by anger and hatred. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a phone, but all it does is like watch you. It's like Sentry in
Perfect.
your pocket. Yeah.
Well, while we're on the cell phone topic, though, I would like to talk about like what photography is these days, because I feel like when I take a photo on my phone, I don't know if that's a photo, but I really like what's going on. Those little live photos where you can pick the freaking frame, like le moment juste that you want, like the guy jumping over the puddle, like just rewind. Yeah, that's the key frame. We're good to go. I'm looking
Also,
this-
shout out to Warisha. What's up, dog?
Woo.
Yeah. You're going to be killer one day, I believe in you. Like in a good way, not like in a Netflix documentary, Ted Bundy kind of thing, but like, you know,
Huey Lewis in the news album Sports.
it's better than his previous work, but you know, he just wasn't a fan of Weird Al. I don't like, it's an interest, like what is a photo kind of thing? Like,
I think a photo
It's-
is printed is where I kind of draw the line, but that's not even fair these days.
well, no, because no one prints anything anymore.
No, absolutely not.
It's an image. Yeah. But it's easier to just call it a photo because we're all dumb.
Yeah, idiocracy.
Yeah, it's absolutely idiocracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, BlackBerry never disappeared. They just fucking, well, you have one in a playbook. Of course you have a playbook. It's a tablet for people that never want to use tablets. Actually, holy shit. Elon should buy all of the remaining playbooks that could be in stock somewhere and then put a Tesla logo on them and then sell them to everyone. And then when they don't work because none of that infrastructure to support them exists anymore, he'll be like, that sounds like a user error. You just need to try harder. A real winner wouldn't complain about this.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
And I'll
sounds
just
about
shoot it
right.
off into space because
Because why not? Let's just shoot all of our problems into space and, you know, occupy Mars while we're at it.
oh, Elon.
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Such a clown.
Mhm.
I think he was involved in pedo pizza.
It's wild accusations. As your legal advisor, I would advise you against that. What is it?
As your legal
Defamation?
advisor, I insist you take this mescaline and talk more shit immediately.
Throw this toaster into the tub at the peak of White Rabbit.
Benicio del Toro was very upset in doing that role. I think
Really?
there was like an interview that I watched where he was like, it's the
We're
one.
talking about Fear and Loathing for those in the chat who haven't seen it.
Yeah, Fear and Loathing. It's one of my favorite movies.
It's pretty good.
Johnny Depp was great in it. The story of Johnny Depp meeting Hunter S. Thompson for the first time is legendary because like he was told to just like go to this bar and sit at a booth in the back, and then Hunter would show up, and he's like sitting there waiting, And then all of a sudden he hears this commotion, like people screaming, like blood-curdling screaming. And then he hears Hunter S. Thompson, "Get out of my way, you fuckers!" And he's like goose-stepping through the crowd with a cattle prod in one hand and a fucking taser in the other. And he's just like fucking zapping all these random. He's like, "Move it, motherfuckers!" And that's how Johnny Depp met Hunter S. Thompson and then made a movie and became a good friend with him.
I like this. These days we're trying to find like empathy and keep the ego at bay, but like, yeah, maybe just flip that on its head and attack people with cattle prod.
Yeah. And like I'm just
Gonzo.
like, and people let him get away with it because he's Hunter S. Thompson.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I might be pretty stoked if like he graced me with his prod. Yeah, it's like, oh, he zapped
Ooh,
me.
touched me with
I'm
love.
chosen. Yeah, electric love. Yeah, but I saw another one where Benicio del Toro was talking about like, yeah, it was sort of a he wasn't very proud of his role in that movie. I thought he did great as Dr. Gonzo.
I thought it was fantastic, but
Yeah, and the
am I to
bathtub
say?
scene is the best one. I want you to throw
So gone.
that toaster in the top one white rabbit piece. I want to carve a C in your forehead. When he like fucking loses all of the coke at the start with Tobey Maguire in the fucking front scene there where he like pulls the cocaine out and sprays it everywhere. It's like, look what God did, man.
I need to watch this movie again. I don't remember the scene. I remember the beginning, but I don't
It's
remember
right
that.
at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like he pulls over because he's like, it's your turn to drive because he's seen the bats. And he's like, watch out for the bats. And he's like,
Backcountry.
what? Yeah. Can't stop here. It's backcountry. It's a great movie. But I got to say, I do like Bill Murray's portrayal a little bit more in Where the Buffalo Roam.
I was trying to think of the name of that movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like this is an influence for you for photography? Did you go through an era where you wanted to just like take snapshots and like be in the face of other people?
No.
Because that would be the kind of the photographic approach to that type of journalism.
I
feel
don't
like.
really like doing that kind of thing. I
The people who,
find
like,
it
put
really...
the camera like right in front of your face, the hard flash and
I
stuff.
mean, I do that to friends. I don't
Just
do
the
that to
people I
strangers.
love the much-
Exactly.
the most.
Yeah, the people I love the most. Like I went to a friend's birthday party last night, and I was like, blasting the shit out of everyone with my tiny little Olympus.
So I started blasting.
Yeah, it started like pow pow, and people are like, "Is that film? And isn't that expensive? Shut up!" Like, ugh.
White rabbit.
Yeah, I'm vegan. Yeah, it's fun. Cohen says here he agrees a photograph is exposed film. A picture image is what you see on a phone or digital camera. I like that. That makes sense. Digital images are photons collected by sensor sites, reconstituted into pixels on a screen. The etymology of photograph breaks down into Latin, write, and drawing or engraving. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Thanks, Cohen.
Jeez. Now I feel really pretentious.
we get the Latin expert on the chat. But I think you've shown me some. I want to say they were instant film. I'm trying not to say Polaroid. I think they may have been though, where the person was actually like had some yarn and stuff stitched into them. Or maybe it
Oh
was
yeah,
thread.
yeah. Into the Polaroid. Brett Watkins out of Los Angeles
Just
does.
blew my mind.
Yeah, his shit's really cool because like he takes Polaroids and and Cohen's like, and my pretentious Latin name roughly translates to land of Canada. Ha ha ha.
Canada, the village. Listen to this guy derailing the chat.
Yeah, you are.
I feel like the gatekeeping maybe about what a photo is what I was getting at there, because I'm gatekeeping a bit and I feel bad. I feel like an old, like, that's not a photo.
Well, see that goes like there is some gatekeeping with that, and like there's all those arguments of like what is true and what is art and blah blah blah, and I don't like the pretension around when people are like, well, film is better than this or whatever. Like, no, nothing's better than anything else. It's all tools. And whatever tool you have at your disposal to make things that you feel happy about, that you're pleased with, awesome. Like, who cares if other people like it? As long as you're pleased with it, that's all that matters. And I've seen fantastic work that people do on their fucking iPhones, or great work on digital cameras. And I've seen absolute shit that's been shot on film. I've shot absolute shit on film and digital and my iPhone.
Have you tried to pass off an iPhone photo on Grainery yet? Because this is my goal. Don't tell anybody who runs this app, but like my goal is, it's like a long con, so you got to fill it up with like shots you've taken over the years. Because I'm pretty good at making like iPhone photos look like film. I've been shooting film for a long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna set the EXIF to like Epson V700 and just upload this shit up there.
I don't think, does he even care? Like, does he look at the EXIF data?
Oh, yeah, they definitely look at the EXIF. Yeah, they're in your comments like, oh, yeah, I love Pentax. Those cameras are the best. This is the lens I used to use, too.
Cohen says, quickly speaking, sure, it's a photo language. It's a photo. Language is ever evolving, and photo has come to mean any kind of image. If someone wanted to be precise, then I stand by my definitions. By no means should my interpretation imply any superiority or inferiority of any medium. No, this one?
Yeah, that
one. All right, Captain Pretension, come on down from the land of Canada. We have Chris Cohen dropping the hard truth on what is a photo. It's an image.
Yep. Thanks
It's
for coming
photon.
to Cohen's TED Talk.
I mean, whatever tickles your pink. Or your purple. I don't know.
Listen, I don't mean to disparage Cohen in the chat. What I meant was I'm gatekeeping.
Oh my God.
I
He's
am
like,
the gatekeeper.
He's like, thank you for reading my comments in a Wang computer engineer voice.
Man, I used to have a Wang computer.
Dude, I totally had a Wang too.
8088 with a genius mouse.
The 1989 Wang computer comprises the best technology of the era, with its 8088 Intel processor and its 8086 Intel Math coprocessor. You can do spreadsheets in lightning time.
Where other competitors are stuck with a PC-AT keyboard, the Wang computer gives you not only a mouse, but a 3-button mouse for using CAD 3D operations.
3 buttons. Oh my.
In 1988. So good.
Don't stress your eyes out with the black and green screen.
Oh, man.
It's perfect to relax your eyes over that terrible burnt orange amber.
I'm trying to think of what there was for actual graphics on there. It was like Corel had something. It wasn't Corel Draw, but it was basically like a collection of terrible clip art that you could make to...
Dude, that was Corel Draw.
Was it? Okay, you could print cards and stuff like that on it.
Oh, so no, that wasn't Corel Draw. I remember that one. And I would make the shittiest fucking cards for like birthdays and on my dot matrix.
You're pulling off the side bits and like you ripped the paper by mistake. Like, ah, shit, that took 20 minutes to print.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool. No one else did.
Yeah. Now that's definitely an image. Like that's an aesthetic for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Man, I'm embarrassed for my childhood self a little bit.
Ah, don't be, man.
Print Shop Pro. Yes.
I think he's right.
That's the thing. He's absolutely right. Print Shop Pro. Holy fuck. We are old.
Absolutely. Well, also, Cohen must be old, too.
He's older.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah. Cohen's what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah. I mean, there are worse. We were just talking about some other people that others idolize and wanted to be when they were younger. Like, yeah, if you don't want to be Kanye and you don't want to be Elon, you might as well be Cohen.
I mean, if you want to be Kanye or you want to be Elon, try to figure out how to make a lot of money so you can hire decent lawyers for your like hateful racism and
when you get all this money, hire PR. Stop talking to the press.
Yeah. I mean, he walked out of a podcast this week because someone was like kind of calling out how broke he is. Because he's hemorrhaging money because he never had real money in the first place. It was all perceived like fucking riches.
Right.
Now he's fucked.
Yeah. I try to feel bad, but I have a hard time. There's like a limit to compassion
feel
and
bad.
empathy, you know?
You can't. So I'm curious because this came up at dinner last night and it was a little bit controversial. The backpedaling on the Balenciaga ads.
Oh man.
Like,
so, yeah, this is one of those
you
things
know,
like in the industry you just don't want to touch Balenciaga right now.
Did
And
you
I found
think-
it really interesting.
Did you think is art?
I actually didn't see it, which is good. So I've got plausible deniability here because
Well, I'm going to tell.
idea.
Someone
idea
showed
what
it to me. I didn't want to see it, but
Oh,
what happened was these photographers used their children, like
Okay.
children, and they took photos of them playing with toys, and some of the toys were dressed in bondage gear.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the one that had the legal documents in the background?
Yeah.
That were
about
somehow
the
from some
pedophilia-
other set than what they were doing to their own children. Okay. I can
Yeah.
see why this, smacks pretty
Yeah.
hard. Yeah.
So-
they said nothing all weekend. On Monday, they released something that I read, and I was like, yeah. I mean, they at least took some culpability, but yeah, Balenciaga's not off the hook. They've done.
Yeah. I mean, they've,
It's
they've done lots
Balenciaga.
of they've done lots of sketchy stuff. Someone was making an argument that it was art, and I was like, involving the child, it kind of nullifies that. Now,
I mean,
I was like-
Gummo's art. Gummo's art. If you want to talk about like kids eating spaghetti in a bathtub and talking about like, just the depths of poverty and what that means to you growing up, this is not. It doesn't sound anywhere close to that.
Gummo is special.
Yeah, it is. Is it art?
It's like
art. It's art.
Sure, it's art.
It is.
Yeah, okay.
And advertising, I would also say, is art.
Well, if Gummo is art, then Pink Flamingo is totally art. Then
Sure.
yeah.
I'll pretend to know what Pink Flamingo is.
You've never seen Pink Flamingo?
No.
Do you know who Divine is?
No,
Jesus,
dude.
Roger Waters.
I know Roger Waters.
Yeah, he made Pink Flamingo,
Uh huh.
which Divine starred in.
Divine is a drag queen. Is that right?
Yeah,
Drag singer.
yeah, they ate a real piece of dog shit in that movie.
Oh, see, that's art.
Yeah. Now, someone was like, well, the Balenciaga thing was art. And I was like, no, with the kids, it was wrong, in my opinion. What would have made it art, though, is instead of, like, do the same concept,
Mm-hmm.
but then hire adults who do the little fetish thing, where they, like, dress like children. Yeah. So like have that whole like, twisted kink children's toy thing, but with an adult who has like a little kink, because then it's like, I don't know.
I think what they're trying to do is be like edgy. Maybe they found the limit. I would say they found the limit.
I mean,
Come on.
I think they went beyond the limit on that one.
What
Because
killed
like,
me is though they approved these images to be published. This is their statement. They
Yeah.
said they approved them to be published, and then in retrospect, that was a bad idea. Like, no fucking shit. I haven't even seen them, and I don't think I need to. Like, just don't. So easy.
oh shit, was it? Oh fuck, maybe not Roger Waters. Who the? John Waters.
Yeah, John
Yeah,
Waters.
That's the one. You're
Different
right.
people.
Yeah, the guy with the pencil mustache.
Well, you were talking about
Yeah.
Pink Flamingos, so I was like, Pink Floyd, Pink Flamingos. That tracks.
No, Pink Flamingo is pretty.
John Waters has that tiny little mustache, right?
We're not shaming you. I love you, Chris.
Aw.
And I miss your damn face, even though you still haven't started your Church of the Cohen yet. So
Well, now that he's got his passport, he can come to Vancouver, right?
No, I think he hates Vancouver.
Oh, well, that'll happen. To
Except
the
he
best of us.
used to be my Dairy Queen buddy when I lived in that like shitty house in
He
Port
was
Moody.
a Dairy Queen. Are we still on
He-
fetishes, or have we
No,
moved
no.
on?
This was just something that we did, because he lived like 10 minutes away from where I did in Port Moody, in Burquitlam, and we would go meet at the Dairy Queen in Burquitlam, and he was like my Blizzard pal, and we'd like sit there and complain about being fat shits while we ate blizzards.
I've got a good story about Burke Whitlam and
Yeah.
Pink Floyd. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's really sad. So the first friend that I made at my first job in Vancouver,
Mm-hmm.
Terry Toth was his name. Really liked Pink Floyd. Unfortunately, passed away,
Oh.
and had his funeral in Burke Whitlam Plaza, which is just down the hill from what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And yeah, they played Pink Floyd pretty much the whole time during his funeral. It was interesting to hear "Wish You Were Here" in like that kind of setting.
Oof.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. Let's take it to a dark place.
Oh, jeez. That's
Yeah,
Yowza.
it's like one of those points in your life when we were talking about like maturity and like things that you go through. At some point in time, like your best friends will pass away, or like friends that you really knew, and then like I don't know if you like grow or just drink yourself into a stupor or maybe both. But like sometimes I think back about that specific one because it was kind of the first of the people that I knew that passed away. And I don't mean like
Yeah.
family, not to disparage my family. Obviously, I love them, but like it's different when it's I don't know, like a friend. Someone you haven't really seen age that you just like know at a certain point in their life and then they're gone. It's weird.
it is weird. Like that's been I never expected or planned to like hit 40.
Right.
So you know, it's weird like kind of screeching into 41 and like thinking about the people who've been important and
Right.
were like massively impactful, and a lot of them are gone.
Right.
And it's kind of weird to think about that because like when I remember those people, it feels like it was like yesterday was the last time I saw them. But like fuck, it's been like over 20 years with some of them.
Do you find photos help you like remember these kind of things? Because we were talking about childhood and taking photos of your friends and stuff like that. And I do have pictures of Terry that I will look at and kind of bring back those memories.
Some of them I have photos of. Some I wish I had photos of.
Mhm.
And that's where like I kind of like going back to talking about Maureen, and the sort of jealousy I have of her getting an early start on things is that that's something that I wish I had, because that's kind of like why I started shooting more when I moved to Toronto was mostly to be able to leave something behind.
That legacy.
Or something.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully my landlord just doesn't like chuck out the box of negatives.
Just burn it all.
Yeah. And then it's like all that money and time and memories just poof.
Is that your archive, a box of negatives?
Yeah. It's two
Got
home
him.
it's two Home Depot boxes right now in a crawl space. Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to pretend that I'm any better than this, but like, nah.
Dude, I'm terrible at like organizing any of my shit. Like my digital is organized because I just have to do it when I'm like uploading shit off of my SD cards. Like I just force of habit because it's what I've been doing since I started in the late 90s with digital stuff. But film is different because like someone else does my scanning for me, and then I just get a link to download that shit.
Do you print when you process? Because that's my secret.
No.
I just print every time.
No, because I don't want to
Fuck it.
like have a bunch of rando shit. Like I'll print things that I like. So if there's like a photo that I want to give to someone or a photo I really like, then I'll send that to the lab to have them print that. But I already have enough garbage. But the problem with getting my film scans back is someone else did the work for me, so I feel lazy about it. And then I have this folder in my NAS.
You've done your part.
Yeah, I paid the money, and then someone sent me a thing, and I downloaded it.
Are they sleeved at least? I pay for sleeving.
Oh, they sleeve the negatives like that. They do that at least. But then I just on my NAS I have this folder that just says to be sorted, and I just put all of my film stuff in there. And so there's like shit in the to be sorted folder that goes back to like 2018. Because for a minute I was like, I'm going to sort this by like what camera I used for it. And I'm going to sort by what format. And then I was just like, ugh.
Did mom take your Ritalin again? You can't.
No.
That's what I was on Dexedrine at least back in the day, but that's when I kind of came up with my practices of like organization, and I got off the Dexedrine and I was like, or I could just do nothing.
Yeah. Well, and like the other thing too is like I don't need to organize the film stuff because I don't have to do anything with it. I just look through and use it if I
You've
want
got
to.
like a file creation date, right? You're set to go.
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of how it goes with that one. But with the digital stuff, I got to put it in the Lightroom and I got to do all this shit. So it's like since I'm already doing that to work with that shit,
Right.
the organizing happens, which maybe is why I don't shoot much digital because it's just more work.
Right. So
Yeah.
what I've tried, and I don't know if this will help you at all, is generally these days I'm taking pictures of people, so I try to give them the shots as fast as possible, which means I need to organize that day. Like the day that I shoot is the day I organize. And that's the good and the bad here is that if they want anything retouched, that could take weeks, if not months. I'm really bad at retouching. But in terms of getting their shots back, including film, I will have printed, and they can like pick up prints if they want to. It's done. It's over. I'm already done. It's all sorted, ready to go. Because I will not do it later. It's like I'm lying to future me.
See, yeah, that's a thing. I just don't really shoot other people, especially since I've moved back here. I don't know what it is.
You're
Like,
taking photos of friends and stuff like that, right? Do you print those out and hand them prints or anything like that?
not really, no. Yeah.
It's kind of handy. I remember giving you a pile of shots that I took.
You did. They're
They're in a pile
somewhere-
over here.
they're somewhere
They're
over
in
there
another pile.
in my desk.
But like I like being able to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like an onus. Like I'm giving you a task. Like yes, I've taken my task and I've now given it to you.
I didn't realize until the Tiki Talk came into my life that this practice I have of piling shit
it's
everywhere.
It's in that Venn diagram of awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doom piles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, cool. Neat.
Put that under the ND column.
I'm like, wow. TikTok has like opened my eyes up to a lot of things where I was like, wow, a lot of the bad things that have happened in my life make a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever go through and sort through them ever? Like, do you have manic? Because I definitely have like manic.
Yeah,
where I'll just go
I
and
yeah,
sort
where I'm
shit.
just like, oh my god, I need to go through all this shit, and then I'll be like, oh.
Or
Yeah, it's like sometimes I'll get it in my head where I'm like, yes, now's the time I'm gonna like work on this thing, and then I start working on it, and then I'm just like, okay, cool, I need to do something else now.
so this is where I'd lie to myself, like, yeah, I'll take an edible and I'll sort through all of my old film lenses, and as a result, I'll sell something on Marketplace and then I can get a new lens. But what really happens is I'll sort them once I'll shit on Marketplace and I'll buy the new lens.
Dude, I've been saying that I'm gonna like fucking sell my old Zoom PodTrack 4 on Marketplace and the old pod mic that I bought that I fucking hate.
Right?
I found the boxes in my fucking crawl space like 2 months ago, and I'm like, I'm gonna sell these and treat myself to something else, and it's still in my fucking drawer. The empty boxes are still at home.
So what you're saying is you'll sell them for cheaper now. Oh, maybe
I don't
not.
know.
Maybe not.
Well,
I don't want to lose money on this deal.
then
I'd
I'm
rather
like-
keep them on my shelf.
I'm like, I'm gonna sell this, but then I'm like, well, maybe I'll use the pod track again if I'm like traveling and I take the podcast on the road again.
Did you take it with you when you traveled?
No, I took this shit with me.
I realize the camera can only see like the back end of this thing, but it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's got all the buttons. Yeah, it's got the sauce.
Yeah, I think the color and the sort of feedback that you get from a device like this, like even on digital, the fact that you can see something right away is pretty nice. All the buttons are there to be pushed. They light up when you push them.
I like the
Pretty
the
nice.
buttons
Yeah,
feel good.
Blinking lights.
Yeah, and the little volume knobby things and the touch screen, it's very satisfying.
And this is what maybe not something I like about digital cameras, but when you're shooting with somebody and you can show them what's happening right away, I do find that I get like that time to trust or building trust on set seems to be lower when you can show people stuff, which is like, and this is why I stole something from you, is like, man, quickly take some Instax before we even start to show you that like this is happening. You got a shot in your hand. It looks like garbage because I don't know what I'm doing. But like you got something. You're in it to win it. You can take this home. Set the black frame on Instax. Let's go.
Exactly.
But I do like to give somebody something tangible or rapid feedback or show them something's happening on a monitor or a mirror or something.
You should shoot tethered more often then.
I do shoot tethered. Some people don't like it. They don't
Mm.
want to see what's happening. They want the experience, which is like another.
Yeah, that'd
weird
be like
thing.
me. I'm like, you could take pictures, but I don't want to see them.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
they'll like want to do BTS instead and look at it later, which is like
Mm.
another thing. People have different styles. I do like being able to that sort of I always forget this term, improv, I guess, improvisation.
Mm.
Of like just sort of riffing together and coming up with stuff, which is why I like my feed right now is just like random stuff. Because when I shoot with people, I want to kind of be a mirror or like an outlet for them to like work with me to get what they want. And like it might not be what I want, but what I want to do, what I really want to do a lot of the times is just test new gear.
Tell me what you want.
Yeah, I want
What
to
you
go
really,
on
really
Amazon.
want.
I want to buy something that
I
will
want
ship
it. I
the
want
next
it.
day. Yeah, I'm like bovering them. Do you really, really, really want a zigga zigga? It's like this is what I want. I want to be Bo Burnham buying new lights that cost $20 to ship next day, and I want to take photos with them and then move on. Put that on the pile.
Yeah, was it look who's stuck inside again?
Yeah. What's Jeffrey Bezos?
Jeffrey Bezos. Fuck it, TikTok has ruined my life.
It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
But I like it. And yeah, apparently, Megan, doom pile is like the technical term for those little piles that us people make when we're trying to organize shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they used to drive my ex-wife crazy because I would just like literally have all these little piles of things everywhere that I would get really upset about if
I'm laughing not at you, but like I'm laughing in agreement because I do have a partner who it drives crazy. Would rather the doom pile like be in a shelf that has a door in front of it so they don't have to see the pile of doom, or like in a box somewhere.
Yeah, like you can tell this is my studio because, and you haven't been in here for a while because it has been taken over by doom piles.
Doom piles.
Yeah, everywhere.
A mentally strong technique.
I mean, looking around this place right now, it looks like a mentally broken person occupies this space.
I would say busy. I do wonder. Okay, like since we were going to talk about vulnerability a little bit, let's scratch this itch. So I wonder about the cardboard piles of Instax sometimes.
No, that's not Instax.
Oh, what is it? Sorry, this is
Polaroid.
my apologies.
Those are nice boxes.
Nice boxes. All
Yeah.
right.
You haven't hit that phase in your old age yet where it's like you keep a nice box?
Hoarding nice things? Oh, come on.
No, not hoarding nice things. Hoarding nice boxes.
Nice boxes. No.
Yeah, haven't you like opened up a package and you're like, this is a nice box?
I'm such an Apple fanboy. Every time I buy something new from
That's a nice box.
Mr. Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for boxes for sure.
Yeah, I like a nice box. Yeah.
Do you find that you keep around, like, for me, it's like those little film tabs on the end of the boxes. I really like the 35 millimeter ones.
Mm.
Whenever they go into the back of the Pentax and they come out, I'm like stacking those up.
Yeah, those are
Shove
fun.
This roll and egg for pan.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like not only like a nice packaging.
Yeah,
like
you get some support in the chat. The cardboard lovers unite.
Yeah, cardboard untie. Megan says, I love it. I have many doom piles. Feels less intimidating than one large doom pile.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, like one large doom pile just means you're a fucking slob. But if you have like, little like curated piles throughout your spaces you occupy, then that just means, you got an imbalance somewhere in your brain, I guess.
I personally find the piles are great for me to say, like, that's a to-do. But the problem is, like, there's many to-dos because there's always something going on. So I just end up with, like, many
None of
piles.
them are to do.
Well, mine are all to-do.
No, none of mine are to do.
Like, it's a to-be-sorted folder, except it's, like,
Oh,
30
well, I
places
mean,
around my house.
they are to be sorted, but it's like, I find they kind of accumulate depending on, like, vintage of things.
Oh.
So it's like I'll have fresher piles than others.
Right.
Do
they need to stew a little bit? Like, Carl Weathers gets involved,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like it's like this is a like archive pile,
Right.
so it's like that's I don't need to worry about that.
Right.
But then sometimes there'll be things that I need that are in like an archive pile that I've totally forgotten about,
Oh, no.
and then like I'll get derailed doing something else and like start sifting through
Right.
a pile because I'm like I don't know what else to do with my time right now. I'm in front of this. Like oh shit, I needed this like 6 months ago. This is where it was. I bought a new one.
Yeah. absolutely have bought new things that have been in piles at least twice or 3 times.
That's another thing that was interesting to learn about is object permanence.
Yes, this is why I need to see them.
Dude, things die all the time to me.
If I can't see you.
Yeah. If well, and
Sorry, you moved to Toronto. We can't talk anymore.
Yeah,
Like legitimately.
Well, and I didn't
sorry.
realize that object permanence applies to people too. There's so many
Not
people.
just dogs.
No. I mean, there's so many people that like don't exist in my mind anymore because I don't hear from them or like, you know.
Or they're on Signal. Get off Signal.
Yeah, Etienne, get off fucking Signal already. Not that he listens to my podcast because I don't think he's on
I'll send
Instagram either. But yes, get a fucking iPhone already, you Android creep.
It is tough. So we started.
You're too educated to use a fucking Android.
we started a group chat on Android is the issue, and then like things get really weird.
Yeah. Well, we did start a group chat, but then the problem is like it's a completely different app than I spend all my time in.
Right.
And so it's just like I only have Signal to like talk
I message
to
you
him.
on Instagram most of the time because I see you online instead of even texting you.
Well, I mean, if I'm on Instagram, I'm on my fucking phone, so like iMessage also
Gotcha.
works, and then I can send cooler things than iMessage.
But people do the do not disturb or whatever notification silenced.
Yeah.
And you can hit like remind anyway, but I'm like I don't want to knock that loud. You know, I just want a gentle knock. Hey buddy, how's it going?
How's it
Look
going?
at this
Just
meeting
gonna
I
give you a
found.
little-
Yeah, exactly. I got another zebra from my ranch.
What are you, the Hurley Hee boy?
I was trying to be Michael Jackson.
Hee. Fucking Michael Jackson. I bet Balenciaga would want to do an ad campaign with him if he's still
I'm trying not to talk about this stuff. Okay, so you've probably figured this out, but the fashion industry is like really weird in
and
terms
disgusting.
Of, like, yeah. In terms of like talking about things that matter, because a lot of it's just surface, and then once in a while there'll be something that comes up. Like
Brian,
Vivian
I love
Westwood,
you,
for
miss
example, she'll talk about stuff all the time. She'll talk about politics, that kind of things. But she is very much in the minority of fashion houses that would actually speak out against things like that. I don't know, Russia
Child
invading
labor?
Ukraine, child labor.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like fast fashion is killing the industry. No one wants to talk about that.
Oh, it's terrible.
No one wants to talk about vintage because there's no money in vintage. You don't want vintage fashion. You want new fashion. You want H&M. You want Zara.
Well, but it's not only that. Everything's become so fucking disposable.
Yeah.
Like, you know, everything is just like, buy something new. Why use something old? I love buying old shit, you know, except for underwear. You never want to buy used underwear.
Oh, you might be onto something. What about shoes?
Oh,
Have you bought
wait,
used
sorry.
shoes?
No. I mean, like, there is a market for that, but
Different market.
different market.
It's a different
you know?
secondary market.
Yeah, that's like a specialty market. I'm talking about like
I've seen
buying
vending
underwear.
machines in Japan. You know they sell everything.
I have heard about that, and like I know there's like a very large
I
economy.
get a phone call.
around- Yeah.
Shut up! Don't tell them
The
about
man
Japan.
says no. Yeah, I mean, not for like general use.
Right.
Like, don't buy your Hanes off of Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
Yeah. Unless you're into that. I mean, I'm not. I don't want my stuff to like.
Okay, now,
Yeah.
now, what's that stupid thing guys always say? Devil's advocate here.
Okay.
If I grew up in a family that had washable diapers, and I've helped to raise 5 children in a family, and you assume that Javex or I don't know, vinegar will clean this, you would assume that there should be a market for this. So at the very least, a cloth diaper crowd might be interested in this market.
Well, that's different. That's a cloth. That's a cloth diaper.
They're babies; they'll be fine. They'll rebound.
Yeah, and they don't know the difference. They don't. They're not cognizant of like, hey, my junk is like touching where someone else's junk is rested for a long period of time.
So used underwear is okay for children. And wait. What about used cloth diapers? Because I've been in this situation too.
So I don't think used underwear is good for repurposing in general. But a diaper is very different than underwear because, like, you know, you like use like fucking industrial cleaner on those like fucking, you know, washable diapers. So it's like
One would hope.
yeah, you'd hope. Like, you know, that's the thought is that, you know, these would be clean. Underwear is different though. It's a very
You think it would like disintegrate once the Javex hits it?
it's just weird in my. It's like one of those things. Like I get like when I needed to buy a new phone that day, and
Right.
it's just like, no, I can't do anything else other than like this right now,
You got a
because
task.
I decided this is it.
Yeah.
There's a thing in my brain. It's like you don't put on a thing that someone else has done in that sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Shirts are fine though. I have no problem wearing like a used shirt, but it's just something about the intimacy of like, you know, the boys hanging out in someone else's backyard.
I really like used clothing, and I've shot a few vintage shoots, and they've been really interesting because they're all over the map. It's kind of awesome.
Brian's like, Merlin's undergarment market coming soon.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
No, that's the wrong one. Come on down to Merlin's used underwear garment market. We've got underwear bins. You may have seen them in the classic Jason Lee movie where he got busted with someone else's underwear and told his fiance that it came from an underwear bin. We have the highest quality underwear bins that you're going to see anywhere in the Pacific Northwest. We've got guys' underwears. We've got gals' underwears. We've got they's underwears. We've got it all. Come on down.
Yes.
Yeah, mostly because like I know what unholy things have happened in my underwear throughout my like 40 years of existing. That like, you know, I just
What about used lenses?
that's a different thing. Now, like used camera lenses, totally cool.
Because I
Used
buy them with,
contacts,
like,
no.
used contacts, no, yeah. So optical, yeah. Like I bought stuff with like mold in it, cracks on the front. I don't give a shit. Come on down.
Brian's like, come on down to get some underoos for all of yous at Merlin's.
Love it. Underoos. Used underoos for all of yous.
Yeah, exactly. Sunday. Come on down to Merlin's used underwear emporium, brother. Orium. We've got sales. We got deals.
Used lenses.
Yeah, used lenses. They're great. I mean, all of them. I haven't bought new glass ever.
I did just recently, but I'm pretty good at finding stuff used.
Yeah, but you're also a baller.
I don't know about baller, but like, yeah sometimes I will, what is it?
Shot caller.
Penny wise and pound foolish, perhaps?
I mean, I'm mostly all foolish.
Just foolish.
Yeah. I don't make really good life choices.
I do like old lenses that have like the bad, what do you call that? Like the finish on the front element?
What's up,
The coating.
JC? Yeah, I mean, all of this is a bad financial decision. Like, I spent so much money on this.
Right.
I don't make any money on this. This is just so I can do those stupid things.
You don't get paid for the underoos ads?
Well, no, I
Not
don't.
Not yet.
Yeah, not
Okay,
monetized yet.
Hit us up,
And
folks.
then,
We get a rate card.
You know, and then like, you know, the video thing, that's literally just so I could like stream onto YouTube while I'm streaming on Instagram.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but like spent a bunch of money on that. That I didn't pay any money for that. That's you. These microphones,
Dude, you're investing in your future.
This MacBook. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't have a retirement plan, but I can do this. Let me tell you about how Merlin's future is really fucked up, brother. And then it's more like this. I don't have any money for my future, but I got friends.
They do
And
say
that's
that you have to grind. You have to have like grind set for 10 years on YouTube, Merlin, then you'll make it big like Casey.
No. I mean, he just fucking made a video the other day where he was more or less sucking Elon Musk's cock.
Oh, really?
And
That sounds sexy.
It kind of ruined him completely for me.
Yeah, you're not into that?
No. It was like some tweet where he was like, Elon's 6 rules of business for Tesla employees.
Right.
And he's like, this is a great thread. And he made like a whole fucking video about it. And I was like,
I'm
this
not
is
hustle culture, like, no.
well, and I'm like, this is all commonsensical shit though, because like Elon's rule number 1,
rules.
Yeah, rules. Line was invented by Romans for orgies, and orgies are no fun if no one wants to do it with you.
Thanks, Elon.
Yeah, sweet bear wine. Yeah, it's like rule number 1 was like, make sure the meeting is like actually important, and then you should have a meeting. Okay, dipshit. Great job. If you're not providing any value, leave the meeting. Also, common sense. Just leave the fucking meeting. If it could be a phone call, text, or whatever, make it that. Cool. These are not revolutionary ideas. These are just like common sense. But also, like, if you want to just collect your salary, like everyone else should, and get paid for attending things that other people think is like important for you to attend, and no one's questioning it and everyone's doing the same thing, collect that fucking money. Like, capitalism don't care about you.
Elon doesn't care about me?
Elon doesn't care about anything except himself, and maybe like, bringing back apartheid Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The K, the E, and the T. Those are the words of the day.
Yeah. I mean, we did talk a little bit about photography, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that, like, when you take photos of people or places that you're trying to say something, like,
No.
have you ever taken an ironic photo of a Tesla?
I fucking hate Teslas so
What was that
much.
guy? Was it Ouija who used to take those crime scene photos? Imagine just a series of, like, burning Teslas. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd actually be kind of funny.
Right?
Yeah. We should hang around with Jeremy more to like catch when his Tesla lights on fire.
The opportunity.
Yeah, the Tesla trucks won't last. But you know what will? If you want an electric semi-truck, check out Edison Trucks, stealing Tesla's ideas since the beginning. Edison Trucks was founded by some logging dudes here in British Columbia that came up with this idea to say fuck Tesla, because it's taken them so long to build a commercial electric vehicle that they just built one themselves by taking a pre-existing Peterbilt truck and putting a hybrid drivetrain onto it. Those guys at Edison are total geniuses. Fuck Tesla. Fuck Tesla right in the ass.
Dude, you get the timing down pat.
Yeah, I know, right? I think I missed my calling.
Yeah, I mean, your voiceover work is pretty good.
I've been practicing.
Yeah.
The SM58 also gives it that like kind of booming sexiness.
Definitely.
That was why I switched the pod mic. I was like, hey, I like boobs.
My problem with this mic and others is that you know the little whistle that you make when you talk sometimes? Like, yeah.
You like Papsters? You there, muscly arms?
Hey, Krish. Yeah.
You want to see old Greg shed?
Photos. Merlin. Focus.
Ouija was pretty cool. His infrared work was crazy. You know what he did with that shit?
I've only seen a few.
He took those photos in total darkness.
Really?
Because it's fucking infrared.
Right? Well.
So he would use like black and white infrared film.
Wow.
And infrared flash bulbs.
Isn't focusing really weird in infrared, though? There's something about that.
No, you just like fucking do like infinity focus or whatever.
Yeah. It's like off by 100 feet or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I assume he figured out a way to do it. But
hyperfocus.
All of those shots he did, total fucking darkness.
Wow.
So those like movie shots and things like that, like in movie theaters and everything.
Right.
That was with infrared flash bulbs on infrared film.
That's why the light
so
looks so
no
weird.
one knew he was taking a fucking photo. But it was like boom, super bright because it had the fucking infrared bulbs. Really cool.
That's a cool technique.
Yeah, a crazy friend of mine, Carter, back from Toronto. I think he's in Alberta working on like planes and shit. But he was trying to figure out how to recreate that, making an infrared strobe. Because like you can't get infrared flash bulbs very easily anymore.
Right. I know you can take off the IR filter on some of the Nikons, at least. I'm assuming other cameras as well. But
yeah, something like that.
I've always wanted to play with one of those like 5Ds where you can put the open source software on there. Was it Magic Lantern and go and
just go buy one then. I mean, you buy so much other gear.
Yeah,
and you got Canon lenses now.
I have one Canon lens.
I've
rejected Canon since this year. I've not shot much. My significant other, who's on the podcast, shot an A1 for a while, which I kind of played around with, but that's about it.
I have an A1. That's the only Canon I really like to fly. So as far as digital goes, I've never liked Canon digital SLRs. I just
I don't like dials, and the focus goes the wrong way. So does the
Yes. The fucking
the rotary
command
thing on the back.
Yeah, the command dial. I'm like, I want to take photos. I don't want to be a pretend sea captain. So fuck
Like,
this
it feels
camera.
like dialing an old phone.
Yeah, it's like,
Nine.
and then like the other command dial, it's like I feel like I'm trying to like have
Yes.
foreplay with
Or,
a Canon camera, and it's
draw
really
a square with one hand and draw a circle with the other.
yeah, and I'm not really good at like the
Yeah,
head pat tummy
exactly.
rub thing. I'm not super good with that.
What's funny though is that Canon shooters love the ergonomics. They rave about them.
Yeah, because they hate themselves.
Is it like it's that prisoner
I think it's
thing,
like
right?
masochistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like when you're like you're captives after a while.
Oh, like Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, Stockholm.
No, that's like thinking a Yashica T4 is like a good $800 investment.
Or the samurai that people are buying.
I just sold one of those.
You had one?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I regret selling it because like I got a good deal on it, and I probably could have made more money on it
Right.
to a hipster.
But I think taking phones with that, everyone would assume you're taking a video.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking video
Yeah,
camera,
yeah.
but it's an awkward camera to use, and half frame. Holy fuck! It takes so long to shoot a roll of film.
Oh yeah, because you could have 72 plus.
photos.
Yeah.
Like I only ever shot one roll of film in the Samurai because it took me like fucking 2.5 months to do it.
Wow.
I was like, fuck you, camera.
I've never shot half frame. The other one's like the
Yeah.
Olympus Pen, I think was the quite popular one.
Yeah, those are super popular. I mean, the pen sex here. The Samurai, which is either Ricoh or a Kyocera
That's
camera.
right. I thought it was Yashica for some reason.
No, it's it was a Ricoh or a Kyocera. Yeah. Those were like future cameras. I mean, it looked kind of cool. It was kind of badass, but I was like, eh. I mean, I sold a bunch of gear just for the sake of selling gear, and then I'm like, I wish I didn't sell that stuff.
I had to keep it.
That's it. Yeah.
Do you need like a museum or something, like a display somewhere?
No.
No? Would that help? I find display cases help me understand, like, this is a gear you have. Please use it.
I mean, that would probably help because like most of my shit is in like low pro boxes or low pro
Or
bags.
Yeah.
Somewhere between like my house and the studio.
Just strewn
And-
along the streets.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Hidden in bushes.
I'm like, I think I have this thing, but I don't know. I mean, I saw it once. Did I see it once? Am I dreaming this?
Do you ever take photos of your gear?
No. I started making a spreadsheet on Office 365
Right.
in Toronto.
Right.
So like 2 years ago.
Right.
Where I was like keeping track of all the serial numbers of my gear. I don't think I own a lot of that stuff anymore.
Fair enough. Have you ever registered any of it with like the manufacturer? Because they'll say
I
that
don't
you get
buy
in, like,
anything new.
like MPS or whatever. I don't think it needs to be new for like the Canon Pro Support, or like Fuji's got to have something.
I don't know. Fuji doesn't care about anyone.
They don't have like a professional thing.
They got a professional go fuck yourself line.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Is that what they did to the old film that I really liked? That they no longer make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why that's the
Put on the go
Fuji.
fuck yourself pile.
Yeah.
Was it 400H, the one that you bought a bunch of that like now is not made anymore? Like, that's nice film.
Yeah, there's a bunch of it in the fridge here if you want some.
Amazing.
Or you can find some cunt on Facebook Marketplace to sell it to you for like 10,
I have
20 bucks
noticed
a
that
roll.
Facebook Marketplace these days, at least in terms of film prices, is a little bit wild. I
It
think is the
is
right term.
bonkers.
There's a lot going on there. Like $200 for a pro pack of film seems like a lot.
It's too much. It's like really too much. I need to use some film because there's film in the fridges here that I'm realizing now is like 4 years, maybe 5 years old.
Do you need like clear doors on your fridge?
No, I just need to look in them sometimes.
You need like a smart fridge with a barcode reader?
Can
I sell you a Samsung
the
smart
fish?
fridge? Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I also had the
Fuck
same
you,
problem.
Jing Yang.
So I've had film in my fridge for coming on like since we've been married. Some
Jesus.
film I've just had forever, and this is one of the few things where I'll actually set stuff aside and use it later.
Well,
I'm pretty good at it.
But here's the thing that is a bit
Sorry.
wild with that though is where is it here? That Agfachrome down there, that
Yeah.
RS1000.
Yeah.
Some of that shit expired in 1994.
Nice.
Yeah, and it still shoots like a mother trucker.
Well,
It's fucking great. Here's some Scotch color negative that expired in 1999. I used to have like a thing for expired film, but then I don't know.
Dude,
I
is that
started-
what you gave me? I think you gave me scotch to play with. That's what I got on
this
Photo Vogue.
this isn't the same scotch though.
It was like Imation scotch.
yeah.
It was so pink.
It was that was
amazing.
I bought 2 bricks of that film that came from the Middle East.
Ah,
And
the color cast is
yeah, because I
So
think it
weird.
got scorched.
okay,
Like-
maybe X-rayed or something.
No, not X-rayed. I think it was like kept in the heat.
Oh,
Like you know, it definitely had like some kind of damage to it. But like that's the thing that's cool with film is
texture.
well, like texture and
Do you like the
Yeah.
randomness?
sometimes
Yeah.
not so much anymore. Like because now I just want my pictures to be okay.
Right.
So I don't really love expired film as much as I used to.
Do you ever do a shoot
Um,
where you like try some expired and some new and old? Like
No,
mixing that
because
stuff
like now
together.
I've kind of hit this point where it's like, what if it's a photo I really like and I
Oh, okay.
use like expired, and then I'm like, fuck, I wish
I'm
this
such an
was like,
ass. Like when I get a
when the
subject
portrait
on
rolls.
set, I'm like, man, I'll just shoot a whole bunch of stuff. Like I'll bank some shots early on. Like
Yeah.
Like you got one shot, we're good. If I get one shoot out of a 3-hour sitting, one shot out of a 3-hour shoot, I'm happy. And once I get that,
Mm.
once I like know that I've banked it, it's game over. I'll try all types of stuff. I'll point the lights against the walls. I'll like take photos of people's feet. Like, just awful,
well,
awful. Like
mean,
candid shots. Like I just
there's nothing wrong with that
couldn't
shit.
give 2 shits. It's so bad. Like so, I've got expired film from a shoot that I really liked, where like it probably shouldn't have been expired film, but like I was already happy with 2 of the images, so
That's fair.
I had moved on.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I don't know. I've just gotten kind of picky with that now, and like, so mostly like I use Portra 400
Mm.
for color stuff, and then either Tri-X 400 or Double X
Right.
for the black and white, just because I want to have that consistency. Like
Right.
I think I like the expired shit and whatnot more when I was first getting started fucking around with film, because I'm like, ooh, this is so neat.
It's
And
definitely new to me. I've never shot with old film before.
well, and it's also kind of a cool thing when you think about like it's a living thing.
Right.
And all of these sort of analog mediums that live on a substrate are all living things. Like
But you don't like playing improv with the silent partner that's just gonna do whatever. It's gonna go off.
well,
Today's
ye-
a purple day.
yeah, today I'm gonna shit grain all over these photos that you really
Or
wanted.
like half the frame is gonna be underexposed. Yeah.
I still I like the romantic aspect of that idea. Like there's something I really appreciate about the idea of that. But I have a fear of like the output that I create where it's like, what if it's something that I really like
Mm.
and I wanted it to be clear and good?
It's
Like-
maybe a key differentiator between us because I overshoot a lot. Like we're talking like 2,000, 3,000 shots. Easy.
Oh, I shoot way more than I probably should too.
Okay,
Like, you know,
okay.
since I started shooting again in what is it, 20 well, I started shooting film when I moved to Toronto in 2017.
Oh, I guess I mean with digital, I feel like.
I shoot I overshoot
Oh,
with
okay,
digital
okay,
too.
good.
Like it's like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But like I also shoot a ton of film. Like I mean, I've probably since I started again in 2017 ish have like done tens of thousands of photos on
Wow.
film. Like I started trying to like, someone asked me how much I'd spent on film so far, and I started like thinking about it, and I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore. Like,
taking my toys and going
you know,
home.
it's just let alone what's in the fridges, you know. Yeah, it's like screw you, I'm going home. Yeah, it's weird, but I like the idea of it being like an organic thing that depending on how it's been treated, like if it was treated well, like that stuff from 94 that still shoots brilliantly, you can get cool stuff out of it. You know, it does have a bit of a different color cast to it, but like it's predictable enough that I'm happy. So it's like when I want to shoot that stuff, I know I can still pretty much rely on it. But it's just also interesting, like, you know, if it was had too much heat, if it was like, improperly like, frozen and de-thawed and like had weird like, temperature cycles. It's interesting how it's a living thing. And there was this, I think it was a Rick Rubin interview where he was talking about the old analog masters and how you needed to like master them as soon as they were recorded. There was no sitting on it, because if you sat on it, it would sound completely different from the night it was recorded to like a week later. Like it was like you had to like get that shit in, master it right away, because they're like, it's a living fucking thing. And so it's like, as soon as you possibly fucking can, you deal with that. Otherwise, it's going to change and become something different. Because it's like listening to masters that they made, 40 years ago today,
Right.
sound completely different than they did when they were recorded 40 years ago.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I like that you brought up Rick Rubin. I find a lot of inspiration from like his sort of method.
Yeah, when I grow up, I want to have hair like him.
Dude, I'm really good at trying to meditate like Rick Rubin and going to sleep before I shoot. I generally have a nap before I shoot.
I'm terrible with naps.
I nap all the time, man.
If I nap, I get really grumpy.
Oh, really? I'm the opposite. I'm really grumpy until I have a nap. I'm
Well,
like, let's go.
I'm like grumpy before I nap. I'm grumpy if I nap.
You're
Like
just
I'm
like that Mr. Grumpy triangle guy.
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
hat. Yeah.
I'm like instead of Eeyore with the sadness, I'm just like a grumpor.
I do like his approach though. Just walk around barefoot, meditate a bunch, grow your hair out. And then
as like a very rich white man can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from, like speaking from only the best of places of privilege. Like we're talking about spending a shit ton of money on film too, which is honestly a bit of a gut check there. Like that's certainly a privileged place to be in.
Yeah, and many people who watch and pay attention also like hate money too.
Yeah.
This is not a hobby you get into if you care about saving money and shit.
What I find really interesting though is like the iPhones come to a place where you can take photos that look good if you've got light and environment and a subject and stuff like that. No problem, looks good enough. But a lot of people will still come to me and be like, I could shoot this myself, but I'd rather outsource it to you. Like people can already take their own self-portraits. They don't really need me most of the time, but they'll come to me because they don't want to do it. Or like they want to have a conversation.
It's the perception.
Yeah. There's like there's a different feel to putting something out where you collaborate with somebody else.
And there's all like everyone has a different eye to things. So like someone asked me recently if I would do like photography lessons.
Right.
And I had to really think about it. I didn't actually respond to him. Because no.
Yeah, I think you can teach a technique without necessarily going down that path.
No, because like I don't think I could. I would
Really?
be a good teacher with like I'm good at teaching lots of other things, but I don't think I would want to have someone pay me, because as soon as you're getting paid for something, there's an expectation.
Right.
And I honestly don't know what I'm doing. So it's like I don't know how to teach. What just kind of happens is like feeling through things.
Right.
Yeah. So if I did have the forethought to actually respond to him, I would have said no, but I just started talking about something else.
Just change the subject.
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
anyway,
Anyways,
Ansel Adams' book, The Negative,
about
really
them
good.
Bulls.
Exactly.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Bears?
World Cup, Qatar.
World Cup guitar. You like Reggie Jackson?
Whew.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing that worries me about teaching is like those who can do, and those who don't teach. And like if I'm teaching, does that mean I can't? Because like that's what I worry about. I could be doing, instead I'm teaching. I want to keep doing.
I mean, there's definitely some people that like moniker is completely applicable to. But I've also met lots of teachers who are extremely capable. They just have a passion to share that stuff with other people.
Right.
And I think that's the big differentiator there is, being a passionate teacher about something versus someone that like knows enough to talk about it like authoritatively and like impart knowledge to people who may have
Gone to a dinner party and don't want to listen to you. Sorry.
Those slippers. Shock. Though, I mean, there's no dinner because it got all eaten up. So,
But-
you know.
I hear you though. I've definitely had teachers who were both practicing and also could teach really well.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I just don't think I'm that person.
I mean, it depends on the topic.
I would.
Let me tell you about Azure HCI.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hashtag
Yeah.
Microsoft forever.
I mean, there's some of that is also true though. My day job is kind of in the educational space, and maybe I just don't want to do it about photography either. It feels like work. I don't want photography to be work.
Yeah, same. Like I'm very protective about I mean, yeah, it is an in-person talk tonight. We're in my studio. I don't like how it went from really hot not long ago to now it's a little chilly.
You're talking about the weather or this room?
No, it's a room. Yeah.
It did certainly do that.
It did.
So I was like sweating, and now this.
Yeah, I was like, why is it uncomfortably hot in here?
hot stuff?
Yeah. Hot blooded. I mean,
So you wouldn't teach?
photography?
Yeah.
It,
like you'd
it
be a good
depends.
teacher.
So it's like I did a workshop in Toronto on instant film, like an
You should
introduction
do
to
paid
instant
photo
film.
walks. I'd pay to see you walk around Vancouver. Oh fuck, sign me up. We need to get you like a meetup group. Merlin walks. Magical
No.
photo walks with Merlin around Vancouver. Man, I'm in. I would pay $200 to watch you bum around downtown with like 30 people behind you.
I do that shit for free, like with a handful of people, but like I don't think I would want. I don't know. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I hate photo walks personally.
I like photo walks, but like I don't want to like go with like a large pack. Well, Chrissy, just fly here then.
There we go.
We can go on a photo walk. You just have to come to Vancouver. Not right now. The weather is very terrible. It's apparently going to get really bad
I
tomorrow.
would pay even more money to see Merlin walk around in the rain. Come, Chrissy. I'll cover your costs.
No, I'm not
If
going
you
to.
make Merlin walk around in the rain taking photos.
No.
Oh, this would be enjoyable.
I don't want
for me.
soggy photos.
Oh,
I'm going to take my F5 out in the rain.
it's water sealed.
Not the lens.
I think the lenses can have ass gaskets.
Not my lens.
Well, fair enough. Not your 28 to 105 recommended by Ken Rockwell. I don't know. I feel like on photo walks, there's not much to see generally, and when I do get a shot on like a photo walk, I'm really surprised. But like, what I really don't like is the gear talk that happens on a photo walk.
Yeah, that's
And
what
maybe
I
this
hate
has to do
too.
with like select people that you're taking with you.
Yeah. Yeah, like absolutely. It depends on who you're going with, because like the most unpleasant photo walks I've been on are ones where everyone just wants like jerk off on like fucking gear talk, which I just find so no thank you. But the ones that I find enjoyable are when it's like, me and a couple homies and we're just wandering around somewhere, fucking aimlessly checking out random shit, or like going to grab some food, or like, just being cool guys smoking cigarettes in Toronto.
Yes. What about something
Yeah.
like critique? Have you ever done like group critique before? As a book publisher or assistant book publisher, you're a book publisher, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
as
I
a
guess so.
as a curator, yeah,
A curator.
yeah. Your
I-
curatorial chops would come in handy with critique.
I kind of feel like
I've paid for critique. Full disclosure, I've like paid to go to a workshop where people have like torn apart my images, and I've learned a lot. Actually, it was really formative for me. Would be the word.
like for me, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Because like I don't want to conform to certain things for the photos.
It depends on the person giving you critique. Imagine you're the person giving the critique, not.
Oh, I would never give a critique, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I'm kind of mean.
This is where I got the most of all the photographic knowledge I've gotten is from this group called Delete Me Uncensored, specifically on Flickr.
Mm.
There's a little bit of Don't Step on Snake going on, but like whatever. They're mostly American. We'll leave that there.
Okay.
But a lot of it was it felt like being mean for sport, and I'm pretty good at being mean for sport.
Yeah, likewise. That's why we're friends. Yeah.
So critiquing other people's shot, it's like okay, I get to throw 9 punches and I'll receive 1. All right, I'm in. Swinging for the fences.
Like
Let's go.
Fight Club for photos.
How hard can you hit? And we had a Bristol stool scale. So the stool scale isn't like not something you sit on.
Okay.
And we would discuss photos as like floaters or they're hanging around a little bit too long in the pool because we had a pool of photos that we had to go through and critique.
I thought you were talking about a toilet. Like
we are. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a thinly veiled comparison between photos that are shit and shit photos. Yeah.
No, I don't want to like participate in that.
It's cool. I grew a lot as a photographer, mostly because you were talking about like maybe things that everybody does, like those kind of those things that you have to go through, like silhouette on the beach at sunset, or like we were talking
gas stations on Center still at night.
Exactly. It's important because it tells me that this is a living thing. It's documentarian. It's like, yeah, sure. You and the other 2,000 documentarians take this same shot on Route 66. That's awesome.
See, I think for me, I don't really care what people think of my photos because they're not for other people. They're for me.
So it's more like therapeutic.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Photography is like a mental health exercise for me.
Okay, so you get into a zone, but maybe it's a different it's a different zone.
It's not even really a zone. It's just sometimes I feel like taking pictures of things. I carry a camera with me as like a safety blanket, because like I'm an old man and I still need that.
Did someone burn your safety blanket? Someone burnt my safety blanket.
Yeah, my parents did actually.
Yeah.
It was like fucking harsh in the marsh, man. Yeah.
That camera will do. It doesn't get the same vibe when you hug it, but still feels good.
It was like a satin blanket.
Oh man.
And apparently it was dirtbag filthy because I fucking trekked that thing all over the place. It's like fucking fell asleep slobbering all over it all the time. Like it was gnarly, and they fucking torched it in the fire. And then I just assumed everything satin was my blankie, and hilarity did not ensue with that one. Yeah, lots of scolding.
I like it, but you use it as therapy.
It is therapy, yeah. So that's what I use it for, and I take photos of things that I find interesting, or people that are important to me, or places that are important, and if that happens to resonate with other people, that's cool. If not, also cool. Like it's not for you, it's for me.
Yeah, I never share that shit. Like I'll take those photos, but they might hit somebody's instant message, or somebody else might share them on Facebook.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
I don't know who that other person will be.
Who could that other person be? Like I really don't. Those intimate shots of like hiking and my dogs and stuff like that. I used to share all that, and these days, just like, no, that's for me.
Yeah, I mean, this week has been a hard one for me personally because like I fucking didn't do anything on the medias, really. Until like last night when I was like, oh fuck, I got the chat again, and I haven't like done a single.
I did notice you were quiet, so I was like, I'm gonna put an entire film roll into one post and see if he's up. Yeah. Sure enough, at like 1 a.m. I got a text.
Yeah, well, there's that, and then I was like, fuck, I gotta post some shit because like I don't want to have like the fucking podcast ads back to back touching each other on my like grid. So I was like, I need to fucking make something.
You had to curate your grid.
Well, at least have like one line of buffer between the two. So like I did a late night post of some stuff I did with Mara back in the day, which
I saw those shots. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss working with her. She's one of the coolest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like honestly, great light, man.
Good super subject, great light. I've definitely suffered for the craft that day. I got like really bad heat stroke. It was so hot. Like, yeah, and I was dying of heat. She was fine because we found a waterfall and I was like shooting her while she's in the waterfall. So like she was like totally chill and cool. And I'm like,
put a woman in a waterfall.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, don't go chasing. We spent the day chasing waterfalls, and like we only found one because like there was so much construction happening in Dundas like that summer. So it's like, yeah, there's a water. Oh, I can't get there. Fucking traffic. Oh no, yeah, fucking construction. So bad.
But you shot a trope, and it looked really nice.
Yeah,
Sometimes that's fun too.
it was fun. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's why I don't want to do a critique thing, because I just honestly don't really give a shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, I'm flattered when people like it. That's really cool to hear when shit resonates with people. It's like humbling and touching.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
have you ever submitted photos and been rejected? That's another form of critique. It can be pretty tough.
I did that. You ever do the print swap?
No.
There was this thing a few years back.
They just send it back if they don't like it?
No. It's like you pay to be entered into this thing called the print swap.
Right.
And then you possibly get your image shared with another photographer. And they made it seem like this. It's like, oh, we've opened up the print swap again, and you pay to like submit your photo into it.
Oh, yeah.
Because they print it out, and then they send your photo to some other random photographer, and then you get some other random photographer's photo. And like, being completely frank, all of the photos that I got back were total shit.
Were they basketball nets, I think is what we're talking about here?
No, it wasn't basketball nets, but it
basketball
was just
courts.
like, there was like a weird like swimming diver one that just, when I looked at it, it gave me a fucking headache. And they're in a doom pile somewhere. Like yeah. But I'm also like, to be fair, there's lots of really beautiful prints and artwork that I've bought that are also in doom piles, because like I buy all of this stuff and then I don't have anywhere to put it.
Right.
So yeah,
Gallery.
I just keep buying stuff.
Yeah.
I could make a gallery
Yeah.
with like all the shit I've bought the last few
I mean,
years.
you're curating them with your wallet.
Yeah, I guess so. I like supporting people that I care about and people that make really interesting shit. And you know, it's important to be a patron of the arts.
Yeah.
Like even if you don't have a ton of money, like, you know, sending someone $5 makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. I've only printed one photo book on Blurb, maybe two, and it landed on Amazon somehow. I'm not sure if you've ever used Blurb, but Blurb did something weird where their books landed on Amazon.
Well, you can put it
That's
on
why
Amazon.
I put in my intro. I definitely did not, but I found it was in my intro, and I was like, these are very personal photos of like me in high school in Japan in 1997. I prefer if they weren't on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
It's very odd. Like,
Did you take it down?
I put in a request saying, like, yeah, I own this and it shouldn't be for sale. It kind of disappeared, which is nice.
Well, you just have to log into your Blurb account and take it off of the print shop thing.
Yeah.
They don't put it there
No.
automatically.
Definitely wasn't logged in any print shop thing. I'll log in again. And
Well,
have a
when
look.
you do log, like, because when you upload the book into Blurb to do all the thing, there's another option you can go in to sell the book online.
I definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah, turn that off.
I feel like I opted in instead of opted out here.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. It sounds like there's a ninja outside of the studio trying to break in.
I know, maybe they're trying to steal the Wi-Fi.
Trying to steal that ninja lens.
Joke's on them. It's at home.
Ken Rockwell says.
Or maybe it's
Merlin
not.
Boissonneau has one.
Yeah, I keep thinking about selling the 85 1.8 because I never use that either.
Yeah, I saw it on your desk. The AFD.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice lens.
It is a nice lens.
But when you're printing books and curating and stuff like that, do you ever have to reject other people's stuff? Because that's another type of critique, right?
Well, I have not really fully opened it up yet to accept other people's stuff. I mean, we so with the Northern Film Collective with Becca, for the different volumes, we have gone through and picked people's work and what should go in and what shouldn't. And that was like a kind of a tough one because like all of the photos are great in their own right, and you can see like, you know, they all have some kind of merit, but you only have so much room.
Right, and
to-
presumably a theme. I'm just guessing.
Not really.
so
So
much?
with like the volumes, it's just more like a celebration of like Canada on film. So
Gotcha.
the theme is film photography taken in Canada, not
Ah.
necessarily by Canadians. Like you can be an American who visited Canada and took some photos up here and wanted to submit it, but ideally we want to like highlight Canadian film photographers.
Right.
So that's a thing. And then I did put together a thing that I call the Ministry of Confabulation, with the idea to help other people put books out if they want.
Right.
And there's a few people I've talked to about like putting projects together, but it's like just something that like, we started talking about it and haven't like gotten into coming up with a concept and sequencing and things like that, because it is a lot of work.
I found
And-
some photographers are really good at curation, which is why I asked. There's like
Mm.
Araki, who you probably know in Japan from like his shibari work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, which is interesting. It's definitely his style, but like what he curated was so completely different than what he shot for
Mm.
like I think it was either Asahi camera or Nippon camera, one of the two big magazines back in the day. But he would curate those volumes, and
Oh wow.
like his goal as a curator is so completely different than his goal as a photographer that like a different work came out of his curation, which is actually kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
So I wonder maybe if your curation is different than your shooting.
I don't know.
Time will tell.
It is a time will tell kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think we get the basketball net. Yeah, I've certainly taken the basketball net shot. I don't
mean,
know
who
about you.
hasn't?
Yeah.
It happens.
Mexico, Hawaii, here we go. There's
Mexico.
There's basketball nets everywhere. How we doing for time here? How long have we gone?
We're just literally seconds away from 2 hours, so that's probably a good place to put a pin in it.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for hanging out.
Dude, anytime.
Yeah, with
I'm
your cocaine microphone.
Yeah. I'm Mr. Pink for this one. I like it.
Yeah, Mr. Black. Anyways, thanks everyone for hanging out with us in the studio here and listening to me and my pal Ryan talk about photography things. I think this is going to be the last chat for the year. I'm going to take some time off and for December, because we're in it now. Yeah.
As of today?
As of today, it's December. I got to pay rent. Shit. For here and home. But yeah, thanks for joining. I'll be back in January sometime. If you want to be in an episode of the chat, feel free to hit me up and we can get you scheduled in. I'll probably be starting like, mid-January or something, just so like everyone has like, time to get through the holidays and everything. Any parting words you want to?
Yeah, don't follow, don't subscribe. Alex Weber is who you want for all your headshot needs in Vancouver.
Yeah, or Zuckerman Wong Photography.
There you go, Zena.
Yeah,
That's great.
Zena and Charles, they do fantastic work as well too, and they are also residents here at the City Center Motel. If you are in Vancouver and you want to have a cool 8x10 Polaroid done on a big old massive wooden camera, hit me up on the Instagrams and we can do that.
Get dwarfed.
Get dwarfed. I mean, I love dwarf. Do you remember the fucking dwarf goes golfing,
No.
dwarf goes fishing?
Dwarf goes fishing.
Dorf was like this, he was a fully grown man, but he would play this character who was like kneecapped. And so he just they put like fake shoes on his knees and he'd kind of just be a short guy doing big man
Sounds
things.
awful.
I mean, it was the 80s. Everything was awful. My new therapist was like, "Did you have any childhood trauma?" And I was like, "Lady, I grew up in the 80s." And then started laughing, and she's like, "But did you though?"
No.
And I was like, "Of course. Who in the 80s didn't?" Yeah. Anyways,
On that, happy New Year.
happy holidays. Take care, everyone.
Merry Fishman.